Leadership today is no longer about control or authority. It's about courage. Dare to Lead by Brené Brown redefines leadership through vulnerability, empathy, and authenticity. It's about stepping into the arena, uncertain and exposed, yet choosing to show up anyway. True leaders don't hide behind perfection. They embrace imperfection as proof of humanity. Courageous leadership means letting go of fear, owning mistakes, and inspiring others to do the same. Vulnerability, Brown insists, is not weakness, it's power. We often think leadership is about having all the answers, but Brené Brown teaches the opposite. Great leaders ask better questions instead. They listen deeply, admit when they don't know, and create environments where others feel safe to speak truth. Leadership is not about being the hero, it's about empowering others to rise. The most successful organizations today aren't built on fear. They're built on trust, empathy, and courageous conversations that lead to real change. Brown emphasizes that courage and comfort can't coexist. To lead boldly, we must be willing to stand in discomfort. Growth happens when we dare to be seen, even when our voice shakes. Leaders who avoid vulnerability choose short-term safety over long-term transformation. But leadership without vulnerability is performance, not connection. The moment we choose courage over comfort, we begin leading from authenticity rather than fear. And that's when others truly begin to follow. What scares you most about leading with vulnerability? Share your thoughts in the comments. It might empower someone else to take that same brave step today. Brené teaches that clarity is kindness. Too often, leaders avoid difficult conversations, hoping silence will fix problems. It never does. The courageous leader communicates openly, even when it's uncomfortable. Honest feedback builds trust, while avoidance builds resentment. Clarity isn't cruelty, it's respect. When we dare to tell the truth with empathy, we create psychological safety. Teams thrive when they know where they stand, and transparency becomes the foundation of collective strength and accountability. She explains that trust is built in small moments, not grand gestures. Every commitment kept, every boundary respected, every moment of integrity adds up. The Braving model: boundaries, reliability, accountability, vault, integrity, non-judgment, and generosity forms the backbone of trust. It's not something we demand, it's something we earn daily. When trust becomes the culture, people stop performing and start belonging. Real leadership isn't about managing people. It's about building relationships rooted in mutual respect and consistency. Another lesson from Brown is the importance of rumbling with vulnerability. Rumbling means engaging in honest, raw, and messy conversations about emotions, fears, and failures. Leaders who rumble don't pretend to have it all together. They create space for real dialogue. Conflict doesn't destroy teams, avoidance does. Courageous leaders lean in, even when it's uncomfortable. Vulnerability opens doors to understanding, creativity, and innovation. When people feel heard instead of judged, they give their best selves to the mission. Brown reminds us that shame is the silent killer of potential. When people fear judgment, they hide ideas, avoid risks, and shrink to stay safe. Shame-based cultures breed compliance, not creativity. Great leaders replace shame with empathy. They remind people that mistakes are data, not identity. You made a bad decision is different from you are bad. Leaders who separate behavior from worth inspire growth. Compassion doesn't weaken authority. It strengthens loyalty, innovation, and resilience. A daring leader practices empathy, not sympathy. Sympathy looks down from a distance. Empathy climbs down into the struggle. It means listening without fixing, understanding without judgment, and connecting without agenda. Empathy fuels trust and dissolves isolation. When leaders model empathy, they teach emotional intelligence more powerfully than any training ever could. Leading with empathy transforms hierarchy into humanity. It turns workplaces into communities. People don't quit jobs. They quit environments where they feel unseen or unheard. Brené Brown insists that boundaries are essential for healthy leadership. Without boundaries, compassion becomes exhaustion, and generosity becomes resentment. Setting clear limits is not selfish. It's sustainable. Great leaders protect their energy so they can serve effectively. Boundaries define responsibility, protect focus, and preserve respect. They teach others how to engage respectfully. When leaders say no with integrity, their yes gains value. Boundaries are the quiet discipline behind lasting influence and emotional balance. The book also explores the concept of armor, the emotional defenses we wear to avoid vulnerability. Armor looks like perfectionism, cynicism, and overachievement. We wear it thinking it protects us, but it actually isolates us. The daring leader learns to remove the armor and lead from authenticity. When we drop the act, others do too. Humanity is magnetic. People don't connect to perfect leaders. They connect to real ones. Vulnerability disarms fear faster than authority ever could. Brené reminds us that courage is a habit, not a moment. Every small act of bravery compounds into character. Courage grows when we choose honesty over approval, action over avoidance, and integrity over image. It's built in quiet decisions no one sees. Telling the truth, apologizing, standing up for what's right. Courage isn't glamorous, it's gritty. The world doesn't need more polished leaders. It needs more brave ones willing to fail forward and stand tall again. The book emphasizes that leadership is a skill we can all develop. We don't need titles to lead, just intention. Leadership is the art of influence through authenticity. Whether at home, work, or community, we lead when we inspire others by how we live. Leadership begins with self-leadership. We can't guide others to places we haven't gone ourselves. When we master our emotions, own our story, and act from purpose, we naturally become the example others follow. Brown highlights that curiosity is a leader's greatest strength. The best leaders don't demand answers. They seek understanding. Curiosity keeps the mind flexible and the heart humble. It opens doors that authority slams shut. Asking, "Tell me more," invites collaboration and creativity. In a world addicted to certainty, curiosity is rebellion. It's the fuel of innovation. Leaders who remain curious adapt faster, connect deeper, and grow stronger, building organizations that thrive through change rather than fear it. Brené teaches that gratitude transforms teams. A culture that celebrates effort and growth builds engagement and joy. When leaders express appreciation sincerely and often, people feel valued, not used. Gratitude doesn't ignore flaws. It illuminates progress. Recognition fuels resilience. In moments of pressure, gratitude grounds us. It reminds teams why their work matters. The most courageous leaders celebrate small victories because they know success isn't T-built overnight. It's built daily, through hearts that feel seen and appreciated. The book also warns that leadership without self-awareness becomes dangerous. Leaders who ignore their emotions project them onto others. Emotional intelligence isn't optional, it's essential. When we understand our triggers, we stop reacting and start responding. Awareness prevents burnout, conflict, and miscommunication. Self-aware leaders create stability even in chaos. They don't just lead teams, they regulate energy. The stronger our emotional awareness, the greater our influence, because we lead not from ego, but from balance and compassion. Ultimately, Dare to Lead is a manifesto for brave leadership in an anxious world. Brené Brown teaches that courage and compassion are not opposites. They are partners. Leadership is not about being fearless, but about feeling fear and acting anyway. Every conversation, decision, and act of honesty is a step up the mountain of courage. When we dare to lead, we turn vulnerability into connection, fear into focus, and leadership into love in motion.